Whose responsibility is it to ensure that there is discipline at schools? What are the implications of COSAS' call on learners to hit back at teachers who practice corporal punishment? What prompted the launch of the Teacher Appreciation and Support Program? Will the annual national assessments go ahead as scheduled? What time is it? It's question time. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Mpho Tsedu. A call on learners by the Congress of South African Students, COSAS, to retaliate when teachers use corporal punishment has become a contentious issue. This after a few incidents where pupils assaulted teachers and principals. Meanwhile, classes have been suspended at Durban High School after the principal was attacked by learners. They smashed a car and tipped it over for not releasing their media results. A reminder that this is a live program, and therefore, you can call in and air your views. The number to dial, 089-110-4210. Our Twitter handle, @QuestionTime24. My guest, Tatana Mgwena Maluleke, who is the General Secretary of the South African Democratic Teachers Union. And we are also waiting for Tebogo Magafane, who is from the Congress of South African Students, COSAS, and we hope he will arrive anytime soon because they are very central to this discussion. But we'll be taking your calls. The number to dial 089-110-4210 if you're outside the borders, 002789-110-4210. @QuestionTime24 is our Twitter handle. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Baba.
COSAS is saying they must move your members.
Well, it's an unfortunate call by our students because teachers are in loco parentis, and therefore learners have got to regard their teachers as their own parents. We believe that the society we live in today is also giving rise to such calls by COSAS because our country tolerate violence but also tolerates moral decay. And we call it that this is a moral bankruptcy, that you have children say they are going to beat up their parents. It's an acceptable call, and we think that COSAS has to reconsider that particular call because it has got serious implications. Well,
I guess everybody would understand that indeed it does have serious implications. I mean, they've actually started doing this, and I couldn't believe that actually it was a resolution of their Congress that we must, return fire with fire. But also, they're saying, why are we being subjected to corporal punishment?
Yes, the issue of corporal punishment is something that we've got to deal with very seriously, that the Department of Education shouldn't be tolerating that. We have made calls that corporal punishment has been outlawed, and therefore they have got to take serious action against anyone who's practicing corporal punishment. That being the case, therefore, cannot justify a call by our own children to say hit back to your parents. And I still want to emphasize it is that you don't hear that anywhere else in the universe except in South Africa, where we think that violence is part of problem solving in our society, and that's the real issue that we need to deal with. So we will never condone corporal punishment. We don't want our children to be subjected to corporal punishment. However, discipline has to be there in our schools, but not corporal punishment.
But now, what do you say to these revelations and exposés of corporal punishment being administered to learners?
We have made a call to the department many times to say the department has got to exercise its right to discipline those who are administering corporal punishment, because as a teacher union, what we can do is to talk to our members, workshop our members about alternative disciplinary methods that would not inflict any harm to any one of our students in our schools. However, the responsibility further in terms of discipline discipline lies with the parents. That is the first person who has got to take full responsibility that your child is disciplined, your child go to school and do what the school has expected that particular learner has to do. The teacher comes as a second person, as a parent, who has got to take responsibility that indeed the environment is such that they can be learning, they can be teaching, and the students themselves also take responsibility that they are disciplined. Without discipline, there is no education. We will not be able to progress as a nation if we are not being able to instill some form of discipline in our students. But I want to emphasize again that that does not mean corporal punishment. It is a barbaric practice and we should not tolerate it. We should not condone it. The department must take serious action around that. We cannot be able to charge teachers because we're a teacher organization. We are not an employer. So the employer has a right to do that. We have a right only to represent ourselves or represent our members. But we cannot really go on with this violence in our schools.
But you would still represent a teacher who's facing disciplinary action for administering corporal punishment.
Yeah, representation and defend is not the same. We're not defending this particular practice. We're saying it's horrible. We shouldn't be practicing it. But representation is in terms of the law. It is that any other person who is being accused is presumed to be innocent until proven guilty. You are there just to ensure that the correct procedures are there, implemented, that particular procedure is in terms of the law, and therefore the person is given the opportunity to respond to that particular allegation. So it is in terms of the law.
I'm still just want to reiterate that we are waiting for Tebogo Magafane from COSAS, who is supposed to have joined us already. However, we are taking your calls on the number 089 1104210. What do you think of corporal punishment and basically what COSAS has said, that we're going to return fire with fire? Mr. Maluleke, are teachers scared of learners?
Teachers are working in an environment that is horrible, to say the least. Is that there's violence against teachers, there's bullying for teachers, there's bullying against the students. So the environment of teaching is for both learners and for both teachers is just scary. Learners are scared of other learners, and teachers are scared of other people who intrude the school, but also of their own learners. And I would imagine after being hit back by a student, would you ever go back to that particular class? The only resolution you take is to resign and leave the system. And we have many teachers who have resigned, not even after being hit by the children, but just merely threatened or being bullied by the student. They are resigning. Many of our good principals cannot stand that kind of a situation. They leave our education system. So as a society, we have got to do something about it before it's too late.
But what kind of a system is this where teachers cannot work freely? I mean, intimidated by learners?
Well, a school is a microcosm of a society. The problem is not the school. The problem is the society. The society has elevated violence above any other problem-solving methods. Children grow up understanding that for you to get the results, you've got to be violent. Because in any way, our parents, when they want a tarred road, they go and ban, they go and beat up other people. So why can't you do the same? So it's a societal problem that we need to be addressing here. So that our schools are rid of this particular practice that is wrong, that we have violence in our schools. Teachers are not safe, learners are not safe, both in the schools we are not safe.
So what are the alternatives?
The alternative is that parents must take responsibility. That's the first thing. Parents have walked away from education because where parents are taking part in education of their children, you have got fewer incidents of ill discipline. Learners go there understanding that education is a key to any other thing in life. So they value education, and that comes from the parents. And then the students themselves, once they grow up in an environment where indeed parents encourage them to see education as a building of and empowering them to become self-standing human beings, the students themselves become disciplined, and therefore they go to school understanding that they are going to meet other parents, being the teachers, and they respect them and they work together. So you need that collegial working together at the level of the school. So the alternatives that are there is indeed that we take responsibility. Teachers must stop corporal punishment and begin to exercise any other discipline, including the best teaching method, so that we keep the learners, concentrated in the classroom, interested in education, so that they can see that indeed there's something that is been happening. So we must not cause an environment that allows ill discipline ourselves.
Ruben, you're calling us from Taung.
I am not wasting my time. Hello?
Yes.
The problem is I can't waste my time disciplining a child who is not disciplined from home.
If you could just...
So I think the parents must bring a disciplined learner to school.
Okay, can you switch off your volume, your TV volume, and then perhaps make that point in a more cordial environment for both of us, because we can...
The problem is the parents themselves must discipline their learners at home before they bring their learners to school.
Okay, so you're saying the problem is with the parents?
The problem is with the parents. They are expecting us to discipline their learners, whereas they bring the rotten learners from home.
Okay.
That currency begins at home. Before learners came to school, she or he must be disciplined.
Okay.
Because I can't waste my teaching time disciplining learners, whereas other learners are eager to learn. They want to learn. Some of the learners came to school knowing that they are going to irritate Mr. Silitaro. So please, I can't. It's a burning issue, that one. We are wasting our time disciplining learners rather than teaching learners.
Okay, thank you very much. Is this a popular view?
Well, it is a popular view. There's a feeling that, look, as I'm saying, teachers want to resign, and many of them are going to leave the system. There's no way that after having been hit by your own child, you'll then be able to instill discipline to any other child. I mean, it is just impossible. We can do whatever we can want to do as an organization to encourage them to stay, but they're not going to stay. If they are able to find a job, they go. Or else what is going to happen, we're going to have a permanent problem in our schools where you will have teachers and learners are not working together, because teachers will not be able to exercise anything at the level of the school. So it is a popular view. However, these are our own children. An ill-disciplined child is an ill-disciplined child. I wouldn't want to call a child a rotten, because I think that is not the correct way of really treating our own children.
All right. Tony, you're calling us from Pretoria.
How are you, Mpo?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
Yes. Mpo, the topic of today is very, very difficult. But COSAS must also understand that we need to have discipline in the classroom. Without discipline in the classroom, there won't be any education. By saying that, I'm not saying learners should be beaten. But COSAS must also come up with a way to address their members or the learners. They must also encourage learners that when you're in the classroom, when you go to school, remember you're going to school to learn. You must not go to school to ill-treat other learners and to ill-treat teachers. They must not only look at one way, they must not only solve this thing only one way when the learner has been beaten. But again, they not encourage learners not to be disciplined. And that's my first point. The second point, lawlessness environment. Where there's where people don't follow the law, there's chaos. Where there's chaos, people cannot function. Where people cannot function, people cannot progress. We need to follow the law. Where people follow the law, there's order. Yes. Where there's order, people can function. Where people can function, people can progress. COSAS must understand that. SATU must understand that. Parents must understand that. We need to live in an environment where people follow the law. And COSAS must also encourage their learners. That is very much important. They must encourage their learners. They must know. We need to have a disciplined teaching environment for us to be educated. It is for our own future. It is not for the future of the teacher or for the future of our parents, but for our own future. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Tony. We're going to take a break. The number to dial 0891104210. COSAS is in the house.
to greatness is not an easy one. It's rough, tough, and full of barriers. And there's only one way to master it. Never, ever stop. Dauntless, the all-new Audi Q7.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. Before we continue, let's have a look at what one of COSAS representatives had to say on the issue of school fees. Unfortunately, some technical issues there. However, we've now been joined by Tebogo Mahafani from COSAS, and he says he's late because he was writing his examination. A good COSAS, that is. Welcome to Question Time. You're saying you must beat up teachers?
Yes, and we're not afraid to say that because of corporal punishment has been a banished. If somebody is assaulting you, what we must do? Because of what I believe, South Africa is not a banana republic, whereby everyone must do effort and set. So as the organization, we want to withdraw our statement. We must fight fire with fire. You can't fight fire with romance. We're not romantic. Yes, like Romeo and Juliet.
So you're saying that Mr. Maluleke here,
yes,
as a teacher,
yes,
is at risk of being assaulted by you and your friends?
No, it's not at risk. What we are trying to say as the organization is that the teachers, they must stop murdering us, and then
you will also not murder them.
Yes, because of if somebody is assaulting you, you can't keep quiet. You'll assault back, you see.
But are there no ways to try and get these issues resolved without having to assault the teachers?
Look, even I'm happy that the SG is here. He knows very well from regional level and a national level. We spoke with SATU, members of leadership of SATU. Can you talk to members to stop what they're doing, you see? Because they're harassing us. I can't be harassed, you see?
But, okay, I think it is true that corporal punishment has been banished.
Yes.
It's not supposed to happen.
Yes.
And in the event that it happens, can't you talk to the department, the school governing body to say, look, we've got teacher Mpo here who's always, using his shambok whenever we have not achieved particular marks or something?
Look, once come to SGPs, in our schools we don't have SGPs, we're having fundraisers. They don't care about our education, they only care about money, you see. And then once come to SAT, a Department of Education, even them, what they know is to drive state cars and roam around, you see, and speak a romantic English with us. So
you're not interested in English?
Yes, we want people who speak our language.
Which is your language?
Culture of learning and teaching must take place, not a corporal punishment.
Okay. TC, you are in the Free State. TC? Okay, it seems we have lost TC there. However, the number to dial quickly, 0891104210. And, well, let's hear what you want to say to both COSAS and SATU. I'm still looking. This young man, you can see a lot of pain in his face when he talks about this corporal punishment. Or is it the examination? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, but you don't think he's got a point?
No. When COSAS makes a call to say hit back, we will not accept that because these are our children. And when you say hit back to your parent, we are sending a wrong message. Okay. What we're supposed to be doing is to ensure that those who have the power and the right to be able to discipline those who are continuing to administer corporal punishment do what they're supposed to be doing.
Okay.
The law in South Africa allows anyone to ensure that the Department of Education is taken to court for not exercising what it's supposed to be exercising, that which is a right to any other employer to charge and discipline. We have seen those who are serious. We have just seen for the first time a teacher has been sentenced to jail because of corporal punishment.
Yes.
And that is the right way to making sure that we respect the law, all of us, and not promote violence against each other.
All right, Jada, you are in Cape Town.
Mpo, how are you, my brother?
I'm doing well. Thanks for calling in.
Good. Look, Mpo, I think that COSAS ought to understand that there are forms or perhaps platforms for resolving disputes in any environment. Now, in this case, for them to say they will hit back, they are sort of provoking the situation. The best they can do is to make use of the platforms that are available in their system, not necessarily, provoking. Because at the end of the day, should they hit back to teachers, teachers are going to resign and leave their education. What is going to be the case in our country?
Okay.
You see?
Yeah, let's allow COSAS to respond.
Pardon?
Yeah, well, they're saying you're going to hit the teachers and then they will resign. Who's going to teach you?
We're having young people who are ready to teach. And if we can check, a majority of people whom are practicing a corporal punishment, there are those teachers whom were teaching from those eras of P.W. Porter. So they still have that tendency of harassing young people. You see, so if they resign, will welcome that and will accept that the Department of Education must employ young people who are ready to champion our interest.
But what is your interest here? Is it to be taught or to ensure that teachers are out of school?
To be taught. To be taught. You see, we want to be taught. We don't want to be harassed. We are not punching bags whereby will be murdered. When people are having a stress with their husband or wives, they take a stress to us. You can't afford that. You can't. You see, they are professionals, and they must act as professionals. They were trained.
Okay, stress with husband and wife should not be relieved out of the school kids. Elise, you're calling us from Eastern Cape. Elise, welcome.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
I just want to say I'm now listening to the program, and I work with university students.
Yes.
Even students that we treat them as grown-ups. They come to you to get some advice and things, but then they think they've got the knowledge, they've got, and I mean, I'm an oldish lady. So I feel in the schools with younger teenage students, for those teachers, it can be absolutely beneficial to have some kind of punishment or to address to the students. Because, I mean, if you take away the parents doesn't have the time. They don't have to get the children to listen to them. It's up to the teachers, because they spend 8 hours a day, some of the students, in a teacher environment.
Okay, so Elise, are you saying that punishment, there should be some form of punishment?
There should be some form of punishment, because,
Corporal?
I mean, how else will that small little child from small get to know that there's rules?
Corporal
rules
punishment,
have
you mean? Corporal punishment, you mean, Elise?
You know what, not necessary. I mean, you can keep them after hours, let them do extra examination.
Okay.
But the children of today, they don't want somebody to tell them, but you're wrong.
Okay, Elise, thank you very much. Well, some parents are saying punishment.
No, you must understand, those parents who are speaking about punishment, number one, they don't attend parents' meeting. What they know is to go to somewhere or Stockfells and drink alcohol. They don't feel our pain, you see. So we are saying as the organization, they must not create a problem as problems as parents. They must give solutions.
Okay.
You see? Yes.
Now, I know we've run out of time, and there's something that I wanted to quickly just check with you. What is the latest regarding Anna?
Well, we're not going to administer Anna, because we can't administer a system that is creating robots. We want to have our learners given quality public education, quality training by the teachers. And Anna is not providing that for now. It's being used as a standardized form that has destroyed the American education. Now it is being brought to South Africa to destroy education.
Okay, thank you very much. And perhaps, COSAS, I had expected your leader to say something about education at the ANC Youth League conference, and he said nothing.
No, he spoke. We must not interpret wrong things or sangomize something. You see, he told a delegate of Youth League that under the President Zuma, we are getting free quality education.
Okay.
You see,
but he concentrated quite a lot on Julius.
No, look, I won't say anything about Julius because I'm not benefiting anything from Julius, you see. Okay. But what I can tell you is that as the organization, we're wishing all the best to all matriculants whom are writing, you see. Right. But we must not only focus to matriculants, even grade 9.
Okay, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. That was question time for today. A big thank you to my guest and to you for watching this show. From me and the crew, have yourself a wonderful time. Goodbye.